Yeah, our plan is to do a lot of it ourselves. So
we'll wait till 5 after. Yeah.
I built one before.
30 seconds.
Where I like hired parts of it out. Did like all the plumbing and electrical and counters, and actually had, I don't know if you remember Chris's cabinets that was on Center Street. He came all the way to the Bay Area with the cabinets. He built my cabinets for my house down there. It's kind of cool. So.
Okay, let's start this meeting. Everyone, welcome to June 25th BCAG board meeting. First up is our Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, are there any errors or changes to the agenda today? No. All right, would you please call the roll?
Board Member Connolly.
Here.
Board Member Lucero. Board Member Ritter. Board Member Lambert. Board Member Teeter.
Here.
Board Member Thompson.
Here.
Board Member Stone.
Here.
Board Member Cry.
Here.
Board Member Jones.
Here.
Board Member Reynolds.
Okay, next up is our consent agenda. Would any board member like to pull an item from the consent agenda? Is there any public comment on the consent agenda?
No.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
So move.
I have a motion, I need a second.
Second.
We got a third, we're doing great. All those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
We need to do a roll, huh?
Okay.
We have to do a roll, it just is too awkward, I'm sorry.
Board Member Connolly.
Aye.
Board Member Teeter.
Aye.
Board Member Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member Stone.
Aye.
Board Member Cry.
Aye.
Board Member Jones.
Aye.
All right, passes unanimously. We had no items removed. Next up is action item number 6, authorization for chair to sign a letter to Caltrans regarding the State Route 99 Neal Road signal warning system. John.
Members of the board, I think everybody's aware that we had another pretty serious accident out at State Route 99 and Neal Road on June 10th. It resulted in 2 fatalities and 5 other injuries, and it was a very tragic accident, and I got a lot of calls and emails about what's going on out there, and it's really just unfortunate, but staff has actually been working with Supervisor Lambert since 2014 to try to lobby Caltrans to improve that signal warning system. The main problem out there is that for the northbound traffic coming over that little ridge, especially big trucks, if that light's red or turning yellow, the time to stop's pretty short, and it's difficult for the larger trucks. So we've been asking to look at that signal or improving the warning system over the years since, like I said, 2014. When they look at traffic, it wasn't, in the collisions, it wasn't justifying anything better than what they had. I actually sent a couple different examples of systems that could be used there. We looked at those, but they didn't fit state requirements. anyway, in March, April of this year, we actually had gotten them to do a new signal system out there, and actually at Gardner and 99 as well. So up just really literally weeks before this accident, we were looking at their proposed signal warning system. I had Supervisor Lambert kind of just look at it to see if that, you know, looked better, and he thought it did.
Hey, John, I hate to interrupt. I got Lambert texting me. He says he can't hear anything. I don't know if he shows up on the
He was gonna call in.
call in.
He's not showing up on our on our participant list.
Okay.
Bring him up on phone. So anyway, there is a new system that'll be going out there. I was gonna have,
Yeah, what number should he call?
well, I told him what to call. For whatever reason, he has a problem. There's a number in the thing to do it. I told him this morning. He always has a problem with it. So just maybe call him on the line.
On your cell phone, maybe, and just put them on speaker.
Sure.
At least it'll be.
Let him know he's on speaker.
I told him.
Hey, you're on speaker here at the meeting.
Good, I'm glad you told me that because I was gonna cuss this goddamn.
You're on speaker, Steve.
That was a good word, that's not a bad word.
No, not technically. You're absolutely right.
So Steve, I was just walking the board through that. I've basically been kind of working with you since 2014. You've really been urging me to try to get Caltrans to change that warning system, and you know, it's been a process. But I'd indicated that probably it was March, April of this year, Caltrans did decide that they would put a new warning system. I have the rendering of that. We can pull it up real quick for those if you can see it. Basically, the new system, if you guys can see this rendering, the signal kind of in the upper left corner, that's where the current signal is. The little yellow diamonds is where the current warning system is. If you look at the green dots down here, that's where the new warning system will go. It'll have a better signage, caution, slow traffic ahead. It'll be spaced back much further to give a much more early warning to drivers. I think it's like a 14-second head up to the signal. So this same type system will also be put in at 99 and Gardner, where they've also been having a number of rear end and other accidents. So as I said, it's just unfortunate that this isn't in now. I don't know if it would have prevented the accident on the 10th. From what we heard, the truck never braked, so I don't know why, but this should improve, again, the notice to drivers. So Caltrans is planning and has this scheduled to be implemented in 2021. The letter that we'd like to send from our chair to District Director Amarjeet Benapal is just urging them to try and get this done sooner, and if they can, this calendar year. So we just want to authorize the chair to sign the letter to send it to Caltrans to see if we can expedite this improvement.
Let's go through the roll and see if there's any comments. It's the easiest way.
Okay, Board Member Connolly?
No.
Board Member Lambert?
No comments, great.
Board Member Teeter?
No comment.
Board Member Thompson?
No comment.
Board Member Stone?
No comment, move approval.
Board Member Cry?
No comment.
Board Member Jones?
No comment. I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. There's no further discussion. We'll call the rolls.
Board Member Connolly?
Aye.
Board Member Lambert?
Aye.
Board Member Teeter?
Aye.
Board Member Thompson?
Aye.
Board Member Stone?
Aye.
Board Member Cry?
Aye.
Board Member Jones?
Aye.
Okay, that was very good. We're moving on to number 7, approval of Butte Regional Transit, BRT, Butte County Association of Governments, Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan. Andy.
Members of the board, back in July of 2019, the Federal Transit Administration published a final rule relating to what is called the Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan. That is a a plan required of all agencies such as ours that are delivering transportation, public transportation, whether we deliver it independently or with a contractor. It really is an effort by the Federal Transit Administration to identify some standardized reporting, not that we don't have this happening already, but standardized reporting of certain performance measures and indicators related to public transit. So what they ended up doing is publishing a final rule that required that we have this national or our local transportation safety plan in place by July 20th of this year. However, the effort was put off until having certification done by the local agency until December as a result of the pandemic. Nonetheless, we had already started our effort with TransDev to develop a plan. They had already developed plans for other agencies throughout the country. We put a draft plan in with the Technical Advisory Committee at the Federal Transit Administration. They reviewed it, had a couple of comments, and now what we have before the board today is the final plan with a request to authorize the chair, Chair Connolly, and the Executive Director, John, to sign, and then we'll, that'll be our final execution and forward it off to the Federal Transit Administration.
Okay, let's, questions or comments? Let's run the roll backwards. How's that?
Board Member Jones?
I don't have any.
Board Member Cry?
No comment.
Board Member Stone?
None.
Board Member Thompson?
None.
Board Member Teeter?
None, but I move staff recommendation.
Board Member Lambert?
None, I'll second that.
Board Member Connolly?
Very good. We have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Board Member Connolly?
Aye, I don't know how it's the best way to do it.
Board Member Lambert?
Aye.
Board Member Teeter?
Aye.
Board Member Thompson?
Aye.
Board Member Stone?
Aye.
Board Member Cry?
Aye.
Board Member Jones?
Aye.
That's the cleanest way. Thank you, everyone, for cooperating. It's somewhat awkward. Okay, number 8, this is an item for information. It's a 2020 Regional Housing Plan. Chris.
Good morning, members of the board. We wanted to give you an update on the development of the Regional Housing Needs Plan, the 2020 update. And we don't have a lot of real meaty stuff today, but we're just want to keep you apprised as this program is moving forward. As we noted in the memo, we recently conducted a survey of the member jurisdictions to request information on factors to be considered in developing the draft allocation methodology. And this is a requirement that we must do. We've attached those survey questions for you to see as attachment number 1 as part of this agenda item. And we've gotten responses back from most jurisdictions, and we expect to have the results back to you at next month's meeting. We're still going through those, but the information that we're gathering from this survey will kind of combine with the information we received from our stakeholder virtual workshop last month to develop the draft allocation methodologies, which we've actually sort of kind of put together to some extent, and we'll be reviewing with our planning directors group later this afternoon to kind of move that process forward. Yeah, at this point, we're still kind of putting together the draft allocation methodologies and working that through the city, town, county planning directors group. And then once they've had a chance to kind of go through that, we'll be posting that to the project website and sending out an email notification to our whole stakeholders group list and sort of solicit their input on that as well. So that's sort of where we're at. We're hoping to bring a preferred methodology back to the board, probably as an information item. I don't think we need to take action on it for a bit longer, and we're probably going to hold off on requesting action next month. But we should be bringing that to you next month, or at worst case, August, the August board meeting. So that's moving along pretty well. And then we also included with the agenda item attachment number 2, which are the final regional housing needs assessment numbers provided to BCAG from California Department of Housing and Community Development. And these are actually they're exactly the same as the draft numbers that they provided for us to review about a month or two ago. We reviewed those draft numbers with the planning directors group, and nobody had too big of concerns about the numbers. Everyone felt that they were fairly reasonable and kind of in line with our allocations that we received as part of the 2012 update process. One difference from the 2012 process compared to now is due to the Camp Fire, HCD issued approximately 8,800 what they're calling rebuild units, sort of on top of what would have been our normal allocation to account for the units that were lost in the Camp Fire. And so we're going to be working with the planning directors group over the next week to sort of settle on how, well, we're going to settle on the allocation methodology, and then it'll basically determine how this gets divvied up between each of the cities in the county. It'll be a process that goes on for a while. The first step in that process is simply to determine the allocation formula. The second step is to get down into the actual breakdown of the four different income, what are we calling that? The four income groups of those RENA numbers, the very low, low, moderate, and above moderate, and seeing how it splits up that way. So that's all we had today. Welcome any questions. And I'd also like to point out that we have our consultants from PlaceWorks on the Zoom call as well this morning, David Early and Andrea Howard. So feel free to ask any questions. Thank you.
Board Member Jones?
Well, this isn't an action item.
Yeah, but if they want questions or comments. that's-
I don't have any comment.
Board Member Cry? Questions or comments?
Let's go on to the next one.
Board Member Stone?
No questions. A comment or a concern on these numbers, but it's no different than it was in 2012. I was going to make some unsettling sentiments about these numbers, but knowing that they're based on 2012, I get it. I mean, just I question how we're going to be able to do this, but that's no different than any other year.
Board Member Thompson?
No questions.
Board Member Teeter?
No questions.
Board Member Lambert?
None at all.
Board Member Connolly?
I'm just concerned that this is an allocation on paper only. We don't have to build out to the whatever the end result is, correct? We don't actually have to build out. In other words, in Oroville, there's a real lack of need, not for low-income housing, but upper-income housing. And I don't want it to be forced on us to have to build more low-end when we've got an ample supply. That's my question.
Yeah, the regional housing needs plan that we develop, the number that gets allocated to the city of Oroville, any of the cities, the county, it'll go into the next update of your housing element. And so those numbers have to be reflected in the housing element. There's never been any requirement that those numbers are actually achieved. The state's never put down the hammer that says you have to build the number of units that BCAG allocates to you through this plan. We don't anticipate that changing, so it's usually a sort of a planning exercise. And but that said, with the current housing crisis that the state of California is having, the state is very focused on ensuring that municipalities and counties produce more housing to sort of meet the demand. And so in spite of what I said earlier, I think everyone's really wanting to see housing production increase, reasonably, but also to sort of meet the kind of concern that the state has.
I'll hold my further comments to myself. We'll move on to number 9, Social Services Transportation Advisory Council, recruitment of member Cheryl.
Yeah, good morning, board. This is just presented for information to let the board know that we are in a recruitment process for our SS TAC members. That's our Social Services Transportation Advisory Council. The SS TAC, their main purpose is to assist BCAG when we go through our unmet transit needs process, which we just completed last month. So we have a variety of members on that council. We have transit users that are disabled, transit users that are seniors. We have work training center. Our bus guides are on that council. And we do have some county departments as well. So what we've done with public outreach this year is we've put posters in all of our fixed route buses, letting them know of our recruitment process, all of our paratransit buses. We've sent emails out to social service agencies and retirement centers, county departments. And so we're just presenting this to the board to see if any board members are aware of any citizens that would be interested in serving on the committee. They can call us and get an application, or they can go to our website. We have all of our information on our website, including the application, and those are due July 17th. And once we get all the applications together, then we're going to be bringing them before the board for approval in August. So if anybody has...
I forgot to ask on each item if we had any public comment by email or...
We haven't had any public.
Haven't had any, okay. Yeah, call a roll, see if anybody has any comment on this.
Board Member Jones?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Board Member Cry? Board Member Stone?
No comment.
Board Member Thompson?
No comment.
Board Member Teeter?
No comment.
Board Member Lambert?
Oh, none.
Board Member Connolly?
No. Okay. Next up, is there any public comment by any board member or any member of the public? Speak up now. Or, all right, we have none there, none by email, or all right. So we're going to adjourn. Next meeting is July, oh, my glasses on here, 23rd, 2020 at the BCAG board meeting room.
We will try to have the meeting there. We'll have a Zoom set up in that boardroom by that time, so.
And thank you everyone for your patience. We're adjourned.
Thank you.